on Facebook. Also, you made a stand and a comment on social media, but I understand that Facebook has also banned you for 24 hours. Am I right, sir?
Tama yun, Pia. Meron akong nakitang post sa Facebook tungkol sa bullying nitong batang Joaquin Montes, na miyembro ng Taekwondo Club ng Ateneo.
Correct.
Ngayon, that caught my eye because I am the president of the Philippine Taekwondo Foundation.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, and in fact, the night before I was just with the officers and the founder.
Yeah. So
of the
timely,
Philippine Taekwondo Association, Mr. Hong Sun Chon, and his key officers. And Mr. Hong is also, by the way, the chairman of Kukiwon, which is the headquarters of Taekwondo worldwide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
bigatin.
So, nung nakita ko yon, sabi ko, my golly, ano bang ginawa nitong batang ito? Kasi nakita ko rin yung 4 na video na pinost sa Facebook ng mga iba-ibang...
Oo nga, iba-iba talaga sila eh.
At nung nakita ko yon, sabi ko, this guy is using Taekwondo to hurt others rather than to defend others.
Correct.
Or protect.
Correct.
Kasi yun ang tinuturo sa amin. Kasi ako, I also went through that eh. It's a way of life. We're supposed to be modest, prudent, circumspect in the use of our skills. We only apply it for self-defense.
Right.
But never to hurt others or oppress,
Right. Isn't
This
there an
guy was
oath?
oppressive.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, nagalit ako doon. And so, hinanap ko yung mga videos na yon na sinabi nila was taken down by Facebook. So, I found a GMA7 news report, televised. Ito sa television report that they posted on YouTube. So, I grabbed that at linagay ko sa aking post.
Right.
At pinost ko yon. Tapos, marami na nag-post ng mga iba-ibang video tungkol sa batang ito. All in all, I counted 4.
Right.
At in fact, sa isang video, parang ang dating ng itong batang maliit, parang nadroga o lasing.
Oo nga eh.
No? Yung pananalita niya, para mang he was drugged or drunk.
Right.
So, that was really very disturbing.
Oo nga.
Before I knew it, the next morning when I woke up, sabi ng Facebook sa akin, we have blocked your post because it goes against community standards.
But why?
Sabi ko, pambihira ng community standards. Here I am standing up against bullying. Here I am standing up for responsibility and accountability. I'm calling for discipline. So what community standards were violated there? As a matter of fact, it is Facebook that violated my standards, which is expression of
your freedom of expression.
Freedom of expression, which is a constitutional right.
Right.
And also, they suppressed my moral and civic duty.
Correct.
To speak out against bullying, etc. No. So, sabi ko, mali-mali itong Facebook na ito. I do not know whether these guys are connected to the family of Montes or whether the Montes family has intimidated Facebook to do their bidding.
Right.
But clearly, yung ginawa nila, taking down my post, and it's not only me, ang dami palang na victimized dyan sa ginagawa ng Facebook. Ito yung tawa ko nga, it is in aid of the bully rather than in aid of values.
Correct. Which is exactly what we seem to be losing nowadays. Really, where have our values gone? More so, sir, may batas eh. Hindi ba alam ng mga magulang o mga institusyon na may batas na tayo dito? Kasi bullying has been an issue that is so taboo at one point, At the same time, may batas na nga. Wala pa ba tayong ginagawa dito? How are we addressing this?
That's correct. There is a law against it. As a matter of fact, it was passed sometime in 2013. It's called the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013.
Right. I think it's RA 10627, if I'm not mistaken.
RA 10627.
Right. Act of 2013.
It defines the act of bullying as any severe or repeated use by one or more students of a written, verbal, or electronic expression, or a physical act or gesture, or any combination thereof that is directed at another student.
Right.
Halatang kitang-kita na in all those videos
Right.
that this guy was oppressing and
Yes.
hurting.
And
his fellow
it
students.
seems like it's been going on for quite some time. Di ba? I mean, you're not just talking about one video, you're talking about 4 videos that have been going viral. So you can
This guy's a serial bully, and from
Exactly.
what I read sa mga comments ng mga ibang Facebook users, yung kapatid niya, ganun din, bully din, at sinipa na nga daw from San Beda.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the allegation.
Oh.
And that, to me, the ones that must be placed under the spotlight are the parents.
Exactly.
Kasi anong ginagawa ng mga magulang? Ba't ganun ang mga anak nila?
Oo nga eh.
No? Now, nagtanong-tanong ako kung bakit ganun itong batang ito. Parang they feel like they're untouchable and entitled to hurt others, no? Ang balita sa akin, at chinek ko ito sa PNP, scalawag pala itong tatay.
Ganun ba yun, sir?
Oo, tsaka tinapon niya ata sa Mindanao for being a scalawag, and I'm looking into his background kung bakit scalawag itong lokong ito.
Oo nga.
No?
Oo.
Because the PNP should not tolerate that.
Exactly.
They should file, if this guy's a scalawag, they should file cases against him and kick him out of the force.
Right. Obviously, there's something going on in the family big time, sir. As in, 2 kids, behaving this way. Diba? I mean, it's very telling.
Well, it's very telling, especially when this kid, the one video, this guy acted like he was drunk or drugged. Baka this this family is into drugs.
Right. But
And that's why it should be looked into, there should be a formal investigation. And all angles must be looked into. Kasi if this bullying does not stop, these guys will be tomorrow's crime stories.
correct, I agree. But if you're saying, sir, that the father is a scalawag, wow,
Well,
parang lumalalim ng storya dito, sir.
Yun ang lumabas sa yung inquiry ko sa mga kaibigan ko sa loob ng PNP. Ang banggit sa akin, ganun ang reputation niya sa loob ng PNP. Sabi ko, nasaan yun? Nasaan siya ngayon? Tinapon daw sa Mindanao. Sabi ko, bakit tinatapon sa Mindanao? They will just spread the virus.
Correct. Di natin alam kung anong ginagawa niya doon, namomonitor ba siya doon, layo na niya ngayon sa atin.
At hindi naman mailatag sa akin specifically kung ano yung mga kasalanan niya, no, while he was as a police officer. But ang insinuation sa akin is that this guy might be involved in drug dealing or drug protection.
Ganun pala yun. Okay,
Yun ang pagkasabi sa akin. Kaya sabi ko nga, this guy needs a formal investigation.
Correct. Secretary Lunan, some people are saying, may special treatment daw pag varsity students. Tama ba yan? Ano to, special treatment sa school pag varsity student ka? Hindi ba dapat, sir, you challenge them more? Kasi they have bigger responsibilities, di ba? They have to, I feel, my opinion, dapat nga if you're varsity, you have to prove yourself more. Pero, and then, you have to be more like a role model. Pero it seems, sabi ng iba.
Pia, I think what we should also, the investigation should extend also to the culpability of the school for preventing it, for failing to prevent it.
Yeah.
No, kasi apparently it's not the first video. Ang dami na palang kumalat, and we don't even know if the guy who took the video was on the side of the bully.
Yeah.
No, kasi
yeah,
para
who
bang,
takes
it was
video
meant
of
to
all
aggrandize
these
him,
things? Exactly.
No?
Right.
At imposible naman na alam ng buong mundo pero hindi alam ng institution o hindi alam ng taekwondo chapter sa loob ng institution na yon.
Right.
So there's a failure to monitor.
But Secretary Lunan, RA 10627, the Anti-Bullying Act, says that if schools fail to implement this law, private schools may face penalties under the law.
Yes,
Diba?
Except that we don't know what the penalties are. Baka mahina yung penalties kaya hindi pinapansin. So there's a need to look into this law and what sanctions are applied if people are found guilty.
Right. Congressman Mansur Del Rosario says that, this boy, Montes, is actually a failed representation of the beautiful sport, and you're part of that because you
Yes, actually, I've already recommended on my own as a member of the PTA. I personally feel that he should be stripped of his belt. Although he earned it based on his skills, no, but he also violated the tenets of Taekwondo, and that belt symbolizes those tenets.
Right.
So he should be stripped of that belt, and he should be expelled from the PTA.
Right, because I know every student of Taekwondo actually has an oath, right?
Yes.
And I think your Taekwondo student oath is, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo, like what you're saying.
Correct.
I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse
Correct.
Taekwondo.
Correct.
I shall be a champion of freedom and justice, and I shall build a more peaceful world.
That's correct.
Right.
And he violated every aspect
single
of that
one of it. So, sir, I mean, do you think your recommendations with the PTA would be highly considered, or it seems like on your end they're acting on it? Plus, of course, Congressman Mansur is also very.
We're leaning. Well, let's put it this way: the Philippine Taekwondo Association is very much aware of it and very upset about what happened, and they're certainly looking into that. We'll just have to go through due process para hindi masabi na kangaroo court. Ano?
Yes, this is where I feel sad though, sir, if I may tell you. Because a sport, to me, like as an educator, always encourage students or even, like family members or my own children to really get into a sport. Because it veers you away from peer acts that are not good for you, let's say like drugs and all that. But somehow you get into a sport and it's used in a negative way, and it's sad, right? Because now what happens to this avenue, it becomes corrupted.
Yes. Pia, I feel very bad for the victims and also for their families because they're scarred.
Yeah.
Psychologically, they're scarred, also emotionally.
Yeah.
And yet, I see a lot of warped comments favoring the bully or protecting the bully. Kawawa naman yung bully na binabanata ng publiko, etc. It's misplaced. Their pusong mamon is misplaced rather than focusing their attention on what this bully did to psychologically harm or physically harm his victims. But they're siding with the bully.
Yeah, because some lawmakers also say that we should not be shaming the bully, right? But do you think people are actually shaming a bully, or they're just reacting really to? It's very blatant what this boy did, right?
It's very clear, and people are upset that there is no accountability and responsibility being applied. The principles of accountability and responsibility are not being applied, and that's why they're upset.
Right. What would you advise the parents of this boy was bullied?
Well, Ateneo should call them in.
Yeah.
Because it's between this institution whose reputation is being damaged, by the way.
Yeah.
And the student and the parents, because after all, education is a collaboration between the family and the institution.
Right.
And if the kid continues to give the institution a bad name because the parents aren't doing their job, then he should be expelled.
Right. Do you think he should be expelled immediately?
I think so.
Immediately na yata, no?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because his brother was expelled by San Beda.
Right. There's a track record, obviously. It's in the
It
family.
runs in the family. It's parang their DNA.
Yeah. Right. And do you think, like, with the parent, this boy who was bullied, actually, it took him, for me, he was more courageous. But I could sense that, I could also see, and a lot of netizens can see that also, the fear, diba, of really stepping up and telling the authorities, why are we so afraid when we have protection from a law?
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. Most people don't understand, don't even know that there's a law.
Yun na nga eh.
That's number one. And number two, it's in the upbringing. Are we really teaching our kids,
what are we teaching
to
our
stand up for
kids?
their rights?
Yeah.
are we building character, or are we infusing fear and conformity?
Right.
I think our educational institutions should look into how they are molding their students.
Right. And specifically for the Ateneo, I mean, they stand for being a man for others. Diba? And I think that is an oath that every student should be taking seriously, which unfortunately for me, in my opinion, this bully didn't do that. What is your reaction, sir, regarding a Phil-Canadian father who challenged the father of the bully for a fight?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think that would be necessary. I think the best thing to do is for Ateneo to call in the parents and demand from them an explanation why their children are like that.
Yeah.
Because it's the primary responsibility of the parents to discipline their kids.
Right.
The school is just a shall we say an extension.
Right.
But the primary responsibility rests on the shoulders of the parents.
Right.
And so far, what we've seen is irresponsible parenthood.
Yeah, but Senator Angara, Sonny Angara, also says that under the family code, schools are legally responsible for kids under their custody.
Certainly, there's no question about that. And that's the reason why I'm saying that because this kid is a serial bully and has harmed many of his schoolmates, Ateneo should not tolerate that. He should be expelled.
I agree. Sorry. Okay, let's just thank you so much, Secretary Alunan. We're just going to pause for a break and we'll be right back. So stand by, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
An opportunity to reach out and teach, because education is the greatest equalizer. Education Radio. Education Radio. Sa Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM.
Ang katotohanan, unti-unti nang nabubunya.
Man minangitan away ang mga natibo, mahulian hindi patay ang akong banak. Kaya hindi may makatuban.
Ang mga salarin, unti-unti nang napapangalanan.
Estudyante namo nga college, gipatay ninyo. Kara mo sulod mo dito, nanay gira. Mauna nga mo ayaw na kami sa inyo. Makasabot mo sa nag-volunteer si Dato di bang nagawa. Nakasabot sa inyo ang trabaho nga dili maayo.
Mga akusasyon, kanilang pinasisinungalingan.
Hindi po kami nagtawag ng mga bata. Nakipag-usap po kami sa governor, kay mayor, kanang po government agencies na nahid po bago po manikabutong pangyayari na po. Kaso karoon lang po, biglaan po. Yung po yung gusto kong ipaliwanag na emergency lang po. Hindi po namin kung saan gagawin sa mga bata.
Isyung noon pa pinag-uusapan, ngayon ba'y mabibigyan ng kaliwanagan?
Ang AP dunay human rights, pero ang nahirasariwa, ang natibo mamatay wala human rights.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas. 738 AM.
Mark Lopez at Attorney Tom Bettinger sa Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM.
Good morning and we're back. So before we let Secretary Alunan go, last words from him, sir. Hello.
Well, yes, Pia. Well, we should not allow bullying to take root in our schools because the consequences of bullying will hurt the victim and the family for years to come. Number two, if we allow bullies to continue what they're doing without any sanctions or tough disciplinary action, they will be tomorrow's crime stories. So I am appealing to all Filipino citizens, especially parents, to take care of your children, to make sure that they are infused with the proper values, and those that are into taekwondo, those who are teachers, to make sure that their students apply the values and tenets of taekwondo, of the sport. People should be held to account. If they commit to something, they should be held to account and be held responsible for whatever they do against that oath.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Pia.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, Secretary. Soon to be Senator. Thank you so much. Okay, on the line though, we have Dr. Camille Garcia, clinical psychologist. Let's get naman her opinion from a clinical perspective. Good morning, Doctora.
Hi, good morning. Pia.
Hi, thank you for being on our show today. So we've been talking about the effects of bullying, and as you know, this has gone viral. Everybody's talking about it. Our netizens are talking about it. So let's break it down, Doctora. What ba are the effects of bullying? The negative effects of bullying.
Okay, when you say the negative effects, it doesn't follow na yung the victim lang. It also have a negative effect on the bully. Okay, so we'll start with the victim.
All right.
First, if the victim has no debriefing after the said bullying, for example, if he kept it with himself and then he just locked himself inside the room, so there's a possibility, one, physical manifestation. Physical manifestation as in he doesn't like to go back to school.
Yeah.
Then he will always complain that he has headaches, stomach ache, diarrhea, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then possibility that this physical manifestation can be somatized to urinary tract infection or even to respiratory tract infection.
Yeah.
So that's
So
the
it has a physical manifestation.
Yes, and then
Okay.
sometimes you'll be surprised if you're the parent. How come he is always feverish? He is always suffering from this kind of illness, and then eventually, after not going back to the school, he is normal again.
Yeah.
So that's the physical one. Now, psychologically, one possibility is he might have a trauma, and that will lead to what you call post-traumatic stress disorder, wherein if the person is traumatized, he has a tendency to be he will be more or less saying that he has anxiety, and then the fear itself of being having a phobia going back to school will be manifested. And then there's a possibility if this will go on, this individual might suffer from depression.
Right.
And then after depression, sometimes will be some suicidal ideation or suicidal thoughts.
You're right.
And then this particular
So it
person,
gets aggravated.
yes, not only aggravated, but it will level up to a particular mental disorder.
Right. So the later you actually address the issue, the worse it becomes.
Yes.
Okay.
Just the same with the bully. If, for instance, the concerned party will not have a possible, it will not be reprimand, or at the same time there will be no possible reformation. Of course, he will have bashers.
Right.
So he will also suffer the same, as in he might be withdrawn, he doesn't like to go out, and then eventually he will also suffer from depression, and then the situation will also be aggravated. So just the same, as long as both parties will be affected. But of course, our concern here is the victim.
Right. But the thing is, okay, you're talking about bashers, okay? And when you have bashers, especially now, kids, all of us, we use our iPhones and everything. It's so accessible to just, take a video, which, as you've seen, has gone viral, right? Hence, now you have these bashers. And it's not very clear as to people who have taken a video in this particular situation, if that was pro the bully or pro the bullied.
That's why, yeah, I was kind of apprehensive at first, because I really don't know if the one taking the video is really pro bully or pro victim, for reasons that during the time that when I saw the video per se, I thought it was scripted in such a way that the bully is trying to look at the camera.
Yeah.
So when it's like that, it's just like saying that the bully is more or less aware of the fact of what is happening, and then there's this instance that this bully might be having a power play.
Right. So we don't want these videos. Like, I'm an educator to myself, and personally speaking, like, I'm very careful of what I post when it comes to especially students, right? And in this particular situation, because you want to more or less look at the sides to the story or whatever, right? And they're both minors, or they're both students, right? So as an educator, you have to really you're forced to look at both sides. But
Yes,
then again,
precisely.
but then again, Doctora, this the videos that went viral are very, very telling, right? I mean,
Precisely.
the conversations, the things that were being asked by the bully to the bullied to do. I mean, this is very, you can imagine the reaction. You will really react. Diba? It's clear eh. So how it's very clear, diba, Doctora, when you see it, you're like, oh my God. Like, you can't actually mince words with this anymore. It's blatantly clear. But, when you see that, how do you now address it? Because, really, now we have the bully suffering. Because, again, when it comes to bullying, it's a whole cycle, diba? So, it's a cycle that we hope to break. Because the bully can become the bullied, and the bullied becomes the bully, diba?
Okay, first, when you become a bully, the possible what causes this bullying? Probably the first thing is the bully was bullied first. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a possibility that this bully might be a victim of abuse, physical or verbal, and then he might be first he might be suffering also from a low self-esteem or low self-concept. That's why he is trying his best to be aggressive, to be trying to show some negative behavior to catch attention, to show that even though it's something negative, it's still an achievement for him because he is being known of what he did. But remember, this since you said that it's a cycle, it's so difficult that it might happen when the bullied becomes a bully.
Yeah. Well, I say that because, is it possible that the bully, here siguro in the school sikat siya, 'di ba? Pero pag uwi sa bahay, siya yung inaapi. Pwedeng ganon?
Yes, oo, totoo yun. Yeah. So that's why I am parang more or less parang naawa din ako na sabihin if the bully is parang how is he at home? How is he sa neighborhood niya?
So
How
then
is
it's
he sa
very
ibang
clear.
lugar? Ganon.
Yeah, but it's very clear, Doctora, that the problem here really are the parents.
Basically, when you talk of bullying, it's the parents who will tell the child that bullying is something negative, bullying is not good, and you're not supposed to do it anywhere.
Right. But if the parent is the bully, because earlier on we had Secretary Rafael Lunan, and he's also part of the Philippine Taekwondo Association, right? I think he is actually the founder for the Taekwondo Association. I think there's a foundation. There's a foundation that he's part of, and the thing is, we were finding out allegedly that the father of the bully is actually a police scalawag. Okay. Yeah. So, may mga ganong klaseng storya na pumapasok ngayon na itong, yung tatay nga nitong batang to ay isang police kalawag na parang was thrown to Mindanao. Diba? So, it could be that now these, and just to add, this bully from Ateneo also has a brother that was recently, if I'm not mistaken, kicked out of San Beda for the same kind of
reason.
Yeah, for also bullying, diba? But San Beda acted upon it and they kicked him out. So then you have this boy, the brother now, who is doing the same thing. Ibig sabihin nun, may problema talagang malaki sa pamilya.
Oo nga. If that's the case, first, I guess the school will be able to help because the school per se has a lot of guidance counselor. They have good counselors who will be able to reform this child, this student. And then secondly, if that is going to happen, I think they really have to act out immediately.
Right.
They even have, and if you're a parent who happens to have this viral video, syempre, di ba, if you're the parent, automatic, sasabihin gano'n na, ay, pasensya na po, sana unawaan niyo po kami. Yung parang may immediate na parang press, sila na, magpa-press con kami dahil kasi we wanted na this to be settled out at once. Nahihiya po kami sa pangyayari. Di ba yung may mga gano'n? At least, if they will be able to show na imposible naman na wala silang makakontak for that reason na masyadong naging viral na to. Siyempre, kung ikaw yung parent, parang, ay, ganun pala talaga, meron nakakaano rin pala na yung talagang parang they have to more or less yung i-pacify yung situation. Kasi if you remain silent, ang tendency, siyempre, parang, ano ba yan? But parang, why are you not doing anything? Diba? Parang ganun yung nangyayari. So, tayo talagang mapag-uusapan at mapag-uusapan lalo. Much as we wanted to protect the bully, dahil kasi you cannot, at this point, it will be so difficult for that bully to go out. Imposible hindi siya makikilala because I thought it was just one viral video. Marami pa lang, meron pa palang ibang video.
Yeah, marami pa. And again, I will reiterate, it's very blatant. He was really the bully in these videos. Diba? Hold your thought, Doctora. We'll just pause for a break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
An opportunity to reach out and teach because education is the greatest equalizer. Education Radio. Education Radio. Sa Radyo Pilipinas, 738 AM.
Kaibigan, matipunong mama sa Mindanao, nanganak! Lalaking nanalo sa loto, nagmalaki, kinakupo! Tindero ng suka sa Commonwealth, pinuyo! Kaso ng basurero sa Bayatas, binasura ng korte. Huwag basta-basta maniniwala sa bali-balita. Kalat na kalat yan sa social media.
I will fight fake news forever. I will dismiss disinformation.
Sinasadya nila ang disinformasyon, kaya ang bansa natin ay nalalason.
I will fight fake news forever. I will dismiss disinformation.
Kung hindi pa tayo sasandal sa totoo, fake news ang mananalo. Ang tinig lamang ng katotohanan ang dapat nating ipaglaban.
I will fight fake news forever. I will dismiss disinformation.
Dismiss disinformation. Fight fake news forever.
Bagay na pinaghirapang ipundar. Tiyakin may PS Mark at ICC Seal ang bibilhing mga Christmas lights. Huwag iwanang nakaplug ang mga appliances at Christmas lights. Huwag gumamit ng octopus. Na nagpapaalalang sa gitna ng kasayahan, gawing ligtas ang pagdiriwang ng Kapaskuhan at Bagong Taon.
Education Radio. Kasama si Pia Morato, Mark Lopez at Attorney Tom Bettinger sa Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM.
Okay, we're back on Education Radio with Dr. Camille Garcia, clinical psychologist. So, Doctora, just to continue our conversation. Now, what do we do? Kasi when the bullied naman, okay, we were saying dapat we report. And in fact, we know this. There's a DepEd department order, no? Department order number 40 which institutionalizes zero tolerance. Matagal na namin pinag-uusapan itong zero tolerance na to sa DepEd. Okay? And hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin masyadong nakakaalam. You know, there must be a gap somewhere, whether it be the institution or the parents or whatever, because not many people know about this zero tolerance for violence against children and established child protection committee in the school mismo. Diba? So, if parents knew that, or if the students themselves also knew this, you have a bullied student empowered now to tell their authorities or even their parents that, you know, this happened to me, diba? Before it gets worse. earlier on, parang you can catch it already. But the thing is, wala eh. Parang taboo, parang walang nangyayari. Diba?
True, that's true. In fact, I have a patient na siguro mga a month ago. So the parent was discussing that this happened and so on and so forth na sa school. And then alam mo ang reason ng parent kaya sila nag-undergo na ng counseling. Sabi ng teacher, ma'am, hindi po bully yan. Ano lang po, away lang po yan. Ano, ganun ang sinabi. So, parang, na ano yung parent, ma'am, paano yun? Eh, yung anak ko nga ayaw nang pumasok.
O, yun na nga
Na pangyayari. So, parang, but, ang assessment, it's not bully daw. Pero talagang nung kinikwento ng bata sa akin and everything, talagang alam mong nasaktan siya, inano siya ng lapis, yung tinusok-tusok pa siya ng lapis, yung mga ganun. Tapos sasabihin, hindi daw bully yun, away lang. So, paano pag yung gano'n na yung reasoning, ano pa yung gagawin kung yung bata ay yung tipong sobrang tahimik, tapos he doesn't want na talagang magkaroon pa ng away kasi baka mamaya lalo siyang mapapatrouble. So, sana magkaroon talaga ng mas mapush, lalo na sa institution. Kasi alam ko yung ibang mga educators, napaka talagang sila, yung assertive sila na matutukan ito. But then somehow, meron din naman na iba na parang natatakot din.
Oo nga eh. But if you have the protection of the law, Dr.